Direct object versus indirect object. What is the difference between direct and indirect object? Before we know what direct and indirect object is, let's first define object. What is object in a sentence? Object in a sentence is a person or thing that receives the action of the verb. There are two types of object: the direct object and the indirect object. Let's start the discussion starting with the direct object. Direct object is a noun or a pronoun. It receives the action of the verb. The verb we're talking here is an action verb. Direct object answers the question whom or what. Whom for person, what for things. To find the direct object, say the subject and verb followed by whom or what. The pattern in finding the direct object is subject plus verb, it should be an action verb, plus whom or what equals direct object. Example of sentence with direct object. She wants hamburger for breakfast. She is the subject, wants is the action verb. So to find the direct object, say first the subject, then the verb, followed by the question whom or what. Let's try. She wants whom or what? She wants what? Hamburger. So hamburger is our direct object here. Hamburger is a noun receiving the action of the verb wants. Second example. Mrs. Puff offered a cake. Mrs. Puff is the subject. Offered is the action verb. So again, to find the direct object, say the subject first, then the verb, followed by the question whom or what. So, Mrs. Puff offered what? A cake. So, cake is the direct object here. It's the one receiving the action of the verb offered. Another example. Linda chased the mailman. Linda is the subject, chased is the action verb. So again, to find the direct object, say the subject first, then the verb, followed by the question whom or what. So Linda chased whom? The mailman. So mailman is the direct object here. Mailman is a common noun of a person and it receives the action of the verb chased. Now that we have the direct object, let's now study the indirect object. Indirect object is also a noun or a pronoun. It is the recipient of the direct object. It answers the question of to whom, or for what. Take note, there must be a direct object for an indirect object to be placed in a sentence. Why? It's because indirect object cannot exist without a direct object. Example of a sentence with direct and indirect object. The babysitter told the children bedtime stories. The babysitter is the subject, told is the action verb. So to find the indirect object, we must first find the direct object. Why? Because as what I have said earlier, indirect object cannot exist without a direct object. So let's find first the direct object. The babysitter told what? bedtime stories. So bedtime stories will be our direct object. Now we can ask to whom. To whom did the babysitter told the bedtime stories? Children. Children is the indirect object here in the sentence. So children is the recipient of the direct object bedtime stories. Another example. Andy made Carl a birthday card. Andy is the subject, made is the action verb. So again, to find the indirect object, we must first find the direct object. So Andy made what? A birthday card. Birthday card will be our direct object here in the sentence. Now we can ask for whom? Carl. Carl will be our indirect object. Carl is the recipient of the direct object birthday card. Another example. John showed Miss Puff his project. John is the subject, showed is the action verb. Again, to find the indirect object, we must first find the direct object. So, John showed what? Project. Okay, so project will be our direct object in the sentence. Now we can ask to whom? Miss Puff. Miss Puff is the indirect object here in the sentence. Miss Puff is the recipient of the direct object project. Please take note. Verbs like be, seem, smell, taste, etc. do not express action. They are called linking verbs. Linking verb serves as a connection between a subject and further information about that subject, and that further information is known as subject complement. Don't be confused. Subject complements also answer the question who or what. Example of sentences with linking verbs. In the first sentence, Michael is excited about his promotion. The verb used is. In the second sentence, she seems upset about the announcement. The verb used is seems. Although both sentences answered the question what, we still don't have a direct object in these sentences. Why? Because the verb used in these sentences are linking verbs, and linking verbs do not perform any action. The sole job of a linking verb is to connect the subject to its subject complement. One more thing. Direct objects are required for many sentences to be complete. Indirect objects, however, are not. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching my video today. I hope you learned something. Please click the subscribe button below and the notification bell for you to be updated on my next video. Have a beautiful day, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.